Hello everyone, it's your boy Minato here, and today we actually have a very interesting list from the Dokkan subreddit right here. So this is actually, obviously, as you can see, the top 10 hardest hitting transformations of Dokkan Battle. So obviously it's transformed states of characters, and it's basically, which characters actually hit the hardest once they're actually transformed in game. I thought it was pretty interesting to go ahead and make a video on it for sure. These are basically some notes that the creator Digimon Flow, thank you very much for creating this post for sure. He made basically this post, and here's some actual, I would say, notes right here. So he actually has a list for the defensive stats as well. We maybe check that out after we look at the actual list itself. He says any attack/defensive stacks that these units would normally get in base form were carried over into these calculations to be more accurate of how hard they actually hit in game. The list is calculated with a 4.5 turn average. Skill orbs are not factored into the list either. So yeah, that's basically some extra things you wanted to point out here. We'll go ahead and pop this out as well. We'll check it out later. So again, top 10 transformations. Let's make this a little smaller just for reading pleasure right here. Important notes: APT obviously stands for attack per turn. It takes into additional attacks. All units are calculated at 100% under 170% attack and defense leads. Again, skill orbs are not taken into account. 4.5 turn average right there, and basically that would be it. So let's go ahead and move on to the list. Here's some honorable mentions right here. So Physical Super Gogeta is actually under int LR Cell, which is interesting. I definitely can see that in LR Cell. Although Super Gogeta is super effective against all types, in LR Cell just hits so much harder attack wise, like attack stat wise. So I can 100% see why he's above them on the list. Surprising one is actually this Physical Android 16. So that's from the exchange. This is from the exchange 17-18 into 16. He actually has like 200% attack and defense, and I believe he has a high chance to crit as well. So it definitely makes sense why he's on this list for sure. Especially if you put him with full additionals, he's going to be doing pretty good damage, to be completely honest. Str Bojack, when he gets like the 6 orbs and he like triple supers and stuff, he could do tons of damage on those rotations, especially with his team being filled to the brim with support type units like Turles, him, SDR Cooler, a bunch of units like that are actually pretty solid still to this day. He could be pretty good right here. Tech Ultimate Gohan, which is funny because people always are like, oh, Tech Ultimate Gohan, he hits so weak. Tech Ultimate Gohan never does damage for me. And then they build him in with one link active with freaking no attack being hit at all without support or shit, like 1.6 mil. They're like, oh, he's so bad. But he's number 11 on a transformation list. And this includes LRs, by the way. And all he has to be is turn 5. Which I feel like recently with all the content we were getting with like the amount of HP these bosses have, I feel like turn 5 is not really a stretch to get in some of these stages, even in Super Battle Road. Especially since Gohan, I will say he is definitely more a defensive unit before he transforms. Once he transforms out there, especially when he can be super effective against all types, with the attack stacking he gets on his passive, his super attack effect, he could be pretty good offensively, which I feel like something people don't really... Like, when people think of Tech Ultimate Gohan, I feel like they think of him pre-transformation and not at all post-transformation. But, I mean, that's enough for me. I love this unit, so I'm going to suck him off till the end of time. But, yeah, that's basically what I have to say about him. But yeah, let's move on down to the list. So, at number 10 spot, we have Tech Super Gogeta. So, this is the fused version of basically the Goku Angel and Vegeta Angel that came out for Tanabata. He's actually linked with STR Super Vegito, which makes sense. The reason why is because they have 6 out of 7 links, I believe. Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, Fuse Fighter, Kamehameha, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. 24 key average makes sense. This guy is going to be very hard not to see him at 24k, I'll say that. Especially in the first 5 turns. Even after the first 5 turns, this dude lives at 24 key still because he carries Rainbow Orbs and he gets key from them. Like, what more could you really ask for? This guy's pretty good. So APT is 11 million and then 13.6, well, 11.7 million and then 13.6 million without support. Okay, interesting. The biggest thing for him is that super effective against all types, allowing him to really hit hard against any enemy. So if we're talking about like consistent damage, this guy's probably going to be more consistent than a lot of the units on the actual list. Because, well, he's not even just super effective, he also has a 70% chance to crit. Most of the time you'll get that crit, and if you're not, then you're also super effective, which is pretty good. Offensively at the very least. So yeah, let's move on down next. So number 9 is actually Boohan. I'm trying not to show these nice characters, but whatever. Number 9 is actually Boohan, which is pretty... I could definitely see that for sure, because that's right, he's linked with the actual STR Boo tanks. Well, not Boo tanks. STR Super Boo that transforms into the Boohan. They do share 5 links: Metamorphosis, Wall Standing Tall, Big Bad Bosses, Majin, First Battle, and that's it actually. 24 key average makes sense. This Boohan just lives at 24 key. So, I mean, this guy is really key because he gets a key per key sphere obtained. And if you can't tell, that's pretty good. Let's see. 19.6k attack and 45% defense from his base form. Essentially what that means is on his 18 key, this Boohan actually does stack defense, but on his 12 key, he does stack attack. So what happens is this Boohan actually does have, of course, a medium chance additional super, so you'll get the additional attack right there from his 12 key stacking. This is counting pre-transformation, by the way. Post-transformation, he no longer stacks. However, it can triple super, and he does get the guaranteed additional attack, which has a chance to become a super attack, which makes it more often for him to get that additional hidden potential super attack. So that's why he could do a lot of damage, especially if you build this guy, you know, with full crits. I feel like it's probably the better build to go with him because the attack stack is nice, but you don't really need that. So if you build him with full crits, especially when he transforms, if he gets like a triple super triple critical hit turn, that's going to be deadly, dude. His ABT is 12.2 million and then 14.2 million when he supported. So yeah, not too much of a difference right here. 11.7, 3.6. Not too much of a difference right here. So they're very, very neck and close together. I feel like the reason why is because of the additionals. Because critical hit is something you could really give units. And honestly, you can give units additional attacks in the hidden potential system as well. But I don't know. I feel like having additional attacks in your passive skill, I don't know, maybe would it be better than crits? I don't know, but I feel like that, you know, one of the big reasons is probably Big Bad Boss. He just gets way more attack from his links. That's what it is, and he gets extra attack stacks before he transforms. That's what it is actually. Well, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm dumb. I feel like the crit and additional super effective is why this guy is on this list. Obviously, well, this guy, you know, he still has additionals, and all this attack right here is pretty insane. So, Cooler, STR Cooler, interesting. Let me bring this down a little. So I looked a little bit at this list. I don't want to even spoil like past like number 7 for myself. I just took a quick glance at some of the things. He's linked with Physical Easy A Cooler, which makes sense. This guy, he would probably be on this list if you just put them on the list. This guy specifically, I feel like he would be hitting harder than this guy maybe, but I don't know. I'm not someone who does calculations like this, of course. But yeah, it makes sense. This guy guaranteed crits against Pure and Hybrid Saiyans, which is pretty good. So 52% update versus Pure Saiyans / Hybrid Saiyans. I feel like I'm kind of a little surprised it's not a little higher, but I could see that for sure. At least 50% of the game, he will be against Pure Saiyans / Hybrid Saiyans. He has Thirst for Congress, Big Bad Bosses, Metamorphosis, Universe Most Malevolent, and First Battle. They technically do share shocking speed, but it's just defense. It doesn't matter for this ABT list specifically. So he's like, again, he's barely above Boohan right here. Only 10,000 more attack right here supported. Unsupported, it's 200k attack, so there's some difference. It's because I feel like probably the crits maybe just, I don't know, it just, that support right here, I think it's just, Boohan is really good for sure. But I mean, this Cooler being technically doing more damage than this Boohan is not that surprising because guaranteed crits are pretty absurd, to be completely honest. But that's all I have to say about Cooler. Next we have into Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Wow, I didn't, like, yeah, I mean, I saw him on the list, but it's like, I don't know, just still reading it out, I'm kind of surprised he's there. Because I just never really, I forget about him. It's more so of me being surprised. I just forget about the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, to be honest. Because I never really use in Gotenks that much anymore. And, you know, even when you do use in Gotenks, it's not that often you see Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks really come out. He has all of his links active basically with this physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, but this guy is really good too. But this is a lot. This is all attack links right here. So, I mean, what, that's 6 of his... The only one that doesn't give attack is... Actually, I think they do only share 6 links, because this guy has... This guy's Budding Warrior, and then this guy has that Majin Buu Saga link. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, these are all links that give attacks. So, that's pretty good. His attack is, yeah, look at that. It's a million jump basically for this cooler, and then right here it's almost like a 2 million jump, 1.6 million of attack stat jump right here with 40% support. This guy can triple super. I believe he also has a chance to crit as well. He's just dumb, especially when you get the triple super. Another reason is he also does greatly stack attack and defense for 3 turns. So with him triple supering and greatly stacking the attack for 3 turns, that's pretty insane. So I can definitely see why this guy's on the list for sure, especially with all these attack links that he has. And Ghostly Nate is playing Wallpaper Engine. That's cool. Shout out to Nate, the boy Nate right there. Tech Broly, huh? For number 6. Yeah, I mean, on this guy's active skill tree, he's pretty absurd. So he's linked with STR Broly, Shocker. They do share most of their links. Again, these are all attack links right here, obviously. No, it's 20 key average, so I could definitely see that. This guy does struggle for key. Outside of his actual, I would say, active skill turn where he gets 24 key, I believe. But yeah, outside of that, this guy will kind of struggle for key. Luckily with the link level update and this STR Broly, it does help, because this guy actually is able to link with this STR Broly because it's transformed. Like having Saiyan Lineage and Prepare for Battle right there, those are pretty big. That's 4 key right there he's sharing with this Broly. So it does really help him much with super attacking. 33.3% active skill uptime makes sense because it's a 4.5 turn. So it's like one of the 3-ish turns kind of that you're going to have this Broly on rotation. That's why it's kind of 33.3%. It's actually not that much higher than... Okay, so without the actual support, it's not that much higher. The reason why it's skyrockets here is because this Broly gets on super attack boost, which is greatly benefited with support type units. So this is why 18 mil, that's a 3 mil jump. That's a pretty high, that's a pretty decent margin of a jump with the support. Again, it's because he gets everything on super attack, especially in the active skill turn. Like all that multiplies like against each other, and it just becomes really, really stupid. That's for sure. And then, you know, probably on the turn you will use the supports, he will have this active skill up as well. So yeah, this guy's gonna be pretty good. This guy still hits really hard. I feel like no one necessarily talks about this Tech Broly anymore, but I still feel like he's really good, especially once you get him to transform on the active skill turn, just turn 4. It's really easy to get that, and he just nukes the entire field. And he could also, I believe he could also triple super, depending on, you know, actually I believe he could quad super in a very specific situation. But for the sake of argument, we're going to say he can triple super, one from his passive and one from his hidden potential system. So with all that considered, dude, this guy's a beast, and he's probably much more easy to get than this Gotenks, that's for sure. Next we have Str Blue Goreta. So the blue fusions to this day still do very impressive numbers, especially once you're able to start getting them built up. These guys are pretty stupid. So he's linked with Tech Vegito Blue. They share 6 links, 23 key average. I mean, it's almost no difference right there from the 24 key average. He does give himself that 5 key, but I feel like one of the downsides in terms of that, he only has, well, 2 key links is nice, but obviously, you know, he gives himself 5 key from passive, 5 key from here, 2 key from here. So it's not necessarily like he's really struggling with key, but I could see, like, you know, like for example, units who get key per orb obtained, it's probably going to be much easier for them to get a 24 key average than even if it gives like just a flat amount of key from their passive. But I feel like, you know, 24 key average is pretty much what I see from him personally when I use him. 69, nice percent attack from base form, so obviously he stacks attack in his base form, and then a 5.6% active skill time. yeah, you never see this basically, unless you're in a legendary event. And feel like you're never gonna really see that. In the God event, you can probably see this in certain situations too. So his actual support attack is lower than the Broly's. However, the reason why he's higher is because his normal APT is higher than the Broly's by 100k. I don't know. I feel like because the support is so much higher than this one, it would probably make more sense to put this Broly over. Especially, I guess I could see why, because you know this is lower than it, and it's really just calculating the APT, not supported APT. But I don't know. This 18 mil is still higher than 60 mil, so I feel like this Broly should be high on there. But I don't know. That's just me probably, because when you're not running support units, yeah, this guy is good still to this day. I feel like people underrate the blue fusions. Speaking of the blue fusions, 4 is Vegito Blue, Tech Vegito Blue, huh? Okay, so he's slightly higher than Gogeta Blue. It's barely a difference right here. 23 key average, 16.3% attack. The reason probably why is because they probably have this guy built with 20 crit, and the fact that he double supers with the 20 crit on him is going to be nice. Well, this guy is super effective. He still has STR, so you're only really going to get 15 additional. Because keep in mind, there's not counting skill orbs, so you're only going to get the 15 additional with this guy. And the normal attack is nice while being super effective. Like I said, this list isn't probably counting like consistent damage, but the amount of damage they could actually really do is considering crit and everything like that. So, you know, with this guy, you know, if you consider his crits, like 20 crit right there, double supering, and the fact that he could also triple super still. And he also raises attack on his super attack, which, you know, getting the double super and raising your attack at least twice guaranteed is probably also helpful and probably calculated into that itself. I feel like this guy, like the first 2 turns, he's worse with ki than Gogeta, but, you know, after he gets that ki from his passive really built up, he actually gets 7 ki, so he gets 2 more ki than Gogeta in the end, because his passive actually stacks up. But yeah, I mean, this guy is still very good to this day, obviously. I personally do like him better defensively. I just didn't think he was actually better APT-wise, which is it was a little surprising for me, but I guess I could see it. Based on, you know, what I'm saying. What I'm saying is presumptions, of course, based on why I think they're probably higher. Again, I'm not really someone who calculates this. I want to make this list for fun, to go over it for fun, basically. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, interesting. So he's linked with the Spirit Bomb Goku. That actually makes sense because this Gohan is obviously a nuker. He gets the extra attack from being Super Saiyan Goku. He has 5 links active, 24 key average, obviously 8% orb average, and then 8% uptime versus multiple enemies. The reason for that is because, well, I actually don't have an Age of Gohan pull up. Whatever. Let me pull him up right here. The reason why I'm going to pull him up specifically is because no one knows what he does. It's because you never see him, probably. So he gets 20% attack per orb. And then when he's facing multiple enemies, yes, he does launch a guaranteed additional super attack when facing multiple enemies. Like, this guy's still really good, especially if you consider his defense stack. He does greatly raise his defense on attack and defense on both his super attacks. I mean, this guy's still really good to this day. And then he does create rainbow orbs for himself as well. And again, right here, this is what makes him hit really hard as well. The downside is obviously you never see him, which is the sucky thing about it. But even unsupported APT and supported APT is just higher than these two. It's not even a question really. You could just look at the numbers. This guy just hits harder, and it's unfortunate that you just never see him transform. But I guess it is what it is. I guess, you know. Oh well. Okay, next let's move on to Int LR Super Vegito. So I feel like I know for sure who's number 1. I feel like we all know for sure who's probably going to be number 1 on this list. So yeah. Okay, so this guy, it completely makes sense why he's on this list. He gets 150% attack and encounters, you know, counter units in APT and APT world. These guys are gods. He has all of his links active linked with STR Super Vegito. They're all attack links, 22 key average. 1.2 counters pre-super, 1.5 post-super. He does raise attack on his super attack effects, so it does factor directly into his counter attacks. His attack is this supported higher than Broly? 18.8, 18.5. So no, it's not higher. Broly with support, dude, is pretty absurd because he's over this in Vegito. But his, you know, average attack without support is definitely higher than Broly, that's for sure. If you get crit counters with this guy right here, he could still look absolutely wild even to this day. This guy's like post transform Vegito was so ahead of his time in terms of damage. He's actually absurd. There's a reason why his transformation requirement was so stupid to get. Like, not as stupid as this guy, but why it's so difficult to get, because this guy is actually, like, even now he's number 2 on this list with all these new units that came out after him. Like, he just shits on this Gogeta right here in terms of damage still, if you're talking about ABT, of course. That's why it's crazy. This guy's it's awesome. And you see this guy's right here, right? You know, obviously he's number 1. No question about that. I could tell from like the little art right here, but obviously this guy's number 1. I mean, are you surprised? 22 key average, 1.2 counters, 1.5 post super. Look at the damage difference. 16 mil to 23 million, 26 million, 40% support. He just literally just shits on everyone on this list. This is not even a joke in terms of damage. He is easily probably the most output, like the most. It's hard to say because he has crits on his passive skill. He raises the attack, and then it's really dumb what this guy could do offensively once he's transformed. Like, even in the Legendary Vegeta event, I took him. Like, if you go watch my Join Forces run for the Legendary Vegeta event, if you haven't already, you know, go ahead and check that out if you want. But that guy took like 8 health bars from AGL Blue Evolution Vegeta. This guy. He took 8 health bars from that guy because of his crits. And even without doing critical hits, he still did decent damage. This guy is absurd, and I still love these units to this day personally, and I'm not really surprised he's on this list specifically. If we talk about their defensive, so if we look defensive, you know, this Vegito compared to others is definitely low. This Gohan is actually pretty low defensively. I feel like it would be a little higher with the defensive stacking he has before transforming. Obviously, Boohan's going to be the highest right here. That's no question about it. So yeah, it's interesting to see right here. Like, Super Gogeta right here has one of the higher defenses. Gotenks actually has pretty good defense as well compared to other units on this list. But yeah, I mean, still, I mean, the list is not really about, you know, defense, it's about offense. So if you want to really look at this and compare, you know, with the list itself, feel free to do so. But that's really all I have to say. I want to thank you all for watching till end. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think about the rankings right here on these units. Again, thank you very much to you/Digimon Flow. Go ahead, you know, upvote this right here. You know, go give him a, I don't know, it's not necessarily a follow. I guess you could follow him if you want. You can follow him, sure, why not. But yeah, thank you all for watching again, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.